here with Marianne Williamson today, and Marianne is the New York Times bestseller of numerous titles and also recently seen on Oprah Winfrey. In your book, A Course in Weight Loss, you talk about the psychological body-mind connection with food and addiction. I mean, this could not just be food, but alcoholism and everything.
Right. Well, addiction obviously is a disease of our times, and the obesity epidemic really in the United States proves that food addiction is an extraordinary problem for many people and of all ages. If you are at the effect of a compulsion so great that no matter how much weight you take off and how much you know about nutrition and how much you know about exercise, you have a compulsion so great that it overrides your intellect, it overrides your self-discipline, it overrides your better knowing, then you have a problem that nutrition alone cannot fix and exercise alone cannot fix. And also, I am of the belief, as are millions of people, that addiction is a spiritual disease. So my book is about the application of spiritual principle, the request for help from a thought system beyond our own, the release of internal weight, psychic baggage, without which even if you drop the external baggage, you won't keep it off for long.
You talk about just picking up fruit, you know, and I think one of your chapters, just going to the grocery store and buying fruit and, you know, going to nature instead of all these processed foods.
Well, you know, I was talking earlier about the fact that we have deviated from natural thoughts. We've deviated from natural everything, we've definitely deviated from not only a right relationship to nature in general, but part of that is a right relationship to food. You know, I always say if your ancestors ate it, it's probably healthy. You know, if it's just this little modern chemical thing that your ancestors would never have even dreamed of, you might want to think again. You know, there are people who find natural foods that are good for you, that support the healthy functioning of the body and the mind, boring. And it takes time, as we know, for your taste buds to come back alive. So we are so upside down in our thinking about food sometimes. I've heard people say, well, I overeat because it makes me feel comfortable. That kind of food gives me comfort. And it's a process by which people come to understand that unwise eating patterns are not self-comfort, it's self-betrayal. On a deep level, it's violence to the self. But sometimes, particularly if you've been trained into unnatural thinking or unnatural eating or anything else for many years, it's a process. It's a training of the mind to unlearn one way of being and to learn something new.
So you have an event going on. It's called Sister Giant, empowering more women to get into politics, right? Why do you think it's important to get more women into politics?
Well, I think some people would be surprised to know that in the U.S. Congress, less than 17%, 16.8% of the U.S. Congress is women. And on a state legislative level, 23.6%. Well, yin and yang, male and female, both inside us and in the culture. We bring different gifts, we bring different perspectives. And I believe that the voice of women is important in any area of society in order to have a balanced outlook and balanced behavioral patterns. And specifically, I think that the role of a woman, in a way, is to always hold aloft the belief that we must take care of the children. We must take care of our children, and women are evolving to the realization that every child on this planet is one of our own. And the earth itself, we're here to be homemakers. Yeah, we are. And you know what? The entire earth is our home. So I think women have particular perspectives to give. And this event, Sister Giant, in November in Los Angeles, is one in which particularly women who are very interested in personal growth and recovery and yoga and all these spiritual and religious paths, people are interested in the inner life, are coming to realize that that inner journey is so key to changing our own lives, but it's also key to our changing the world.
Thank you so much, Marianne.